I want to be a better speaker because that is required.
No doubt. Well, we live now, so let's get it popping.
Let me pull that up, man. That's what's up.
What's good, family? It's the Hood Mystic representing www.hoodmystic.com here with our weekly astrology chat with my boy Honcho Buildinair. Now, we just probably going to wait for some people to join in, but
Yeah,
for the playback listeners, we probably have more playbacks. What we're going to be talking about today is Jupiter conjunct the moon in the constellation of Scorpio. We're going to be doing mostly sidereal and Vedic placements. So, if that's something that you want to learn more about, be sure to hit us up. Ask questions in the chat. I'll be looking over the chat. He'll be looking at the chat. So, if
yeah.
this is unfamiliar for you, be sure to inform yourself. But we just try to practice as much as we can sidereal and Vedic astrology. So we're also going to be talking about Mars and Virgo and how's that shown up, Saturn sextile Neptune, and also Mercury conjunct Venus. Mercury is stationed retrograde. What we're going to try to do is talk about how like this information applies in our personal lives, how the information is resonating with us personally, and then we also want it to be intuitive. We want you guys to add and speak about it. But that was the notes, and got my man's Honcho
What's
with
up?
us.
What's up?
What's good, bro? How you feeling? Tell us what's good with you.
Um, I'm feeling, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling empowered. Just living a life of awareness.
No
So
doubt.
that's what it is right now. Just feeling empowered.
No doubt.
It's an inner thing.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, energy building. That's some powerful stuff. Cause like even in doing my studies on some other stuff, I've been really into the Wu Tang, and they've been. That's how they really build their stuff up. Is like doing the inner work. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Have you been
that's it.
watching that Wu Tang series on Hulu?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't watch TV.
You don't watch
Like I
TV.
don't. Nah, I don't watch TV, bro. Like I probably should. My wife does try to get me to watch shows every now and then, but I don't watch TV. I'm entertained by seeking knowledge, man. I'm
Mm-hmm.
weird. I'm weird.
Yeah, I'm that same type of weird, bro. Don't even, don't even trip. So, are you watching the feed right now on YouTube?
I'm trying to get it all set up over here, to
I
be
want
honest.
you to get into the feed, make sure that it's coming clear on your end, so we come across correctly. You feel me? I don't want to.
Right on, right on.
We is live, ladies and gentlemen. So give it up for my man's Honcho. Like Honcho is very well studied and very well accomplished in the business realm and also in the esoteric realm. Uh, he's one of them true spiritual people that I really respect because like spiritual people, they can utilize their gifts for financial means and financial stability, or they could just be doing their own thing, like making their own money, living their own life, and processing their life how they see it on that factor, but never trying to profit off their spirituality. And Hancho is that type of dude, you know what I'm saying? So that's where me and him really link in the spiritual, but it's just like pure spiritual building, and it's also purely tangible too. It's not like we just like we build it in air, but utilizing I guess my earthy tendencies, we actually take the air and bring it down in the earth. So it's all about cooperation, but that's another thing that we want to kind of talk about and build as we talking about Mercury station in retrograde at the Sabian symbol of 3, which speaks to cooperation, and it's conjunct Venus. And we've actually been meeting and discussing things on the business level on but it's not like, yo, it's about business. We gotta make this money. We gotta get this bread. You know, it's like, yo, what you want to do? Let me help you do it. This is what I want to do. Help me do it because this is what I love to do. I just can't do what I love to do by myself. I need support. I need to cooperate. So in that space, the Mercury retrograde, I'm feeling just fine about it.
Yeah, yeah, real talk.
I'm down with the cooperation, but I know like most people, they might be in their isolation game, and
Yeah, this might
that's
be new energy. Like
yeah,
if you haven't built up to cooperating, then you could very well be in a situation where this energy is not, you ain't working with it well. You know, you could think that isolation and solitude is the absolute best thing, especially with all of the Scorpio energy, but
right,
wrong.
right,
Wrong, man. You gotta intercede with that soul group, with those people that resonate with your soul. And you know the people that resonate with your soul because it's like you don't gotta think about it. It's like it's a feeling, you know. It
mm,
ain't thoughts.
mm.
It's the heart energy.
You
Where
had made a good point between like these groupings and family.
yeah, like we have family. We have our regular family that we call family. You know what I mean? And
Right,
you do the research on the word family. It'll lead you back to like server or servant or to be of service and
slave.
slave. More modern word, but it's just it may be time to expand on that. Like family doesn't necessarily mean I was born by the same person, I came from the same last name, I lived in the same area. Like it doesn't mean that at all. You setting the new standards on what family is like is what you just talked about. Like the relationship between you and I is, bro, I admire what you do. Like how can I be of service?
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like how could I help you with what you're doing and give you a lot you some of my skills, talents, gifts, relationships, whatever to help you expand on your knowledge or help you expand on your business, family, whatever. Like what can I offer and how can I be of service to help your cause so that I can expand?
Right, right,
You know, you want to the expansion is in oneself. That's why if you put it all on yourself, you blow up. You get fat. The expansion is out.
makes sense. And Jupiter is the king of expansion, and then even more so of like another aspect that we talk about in dealing with Scorpio and transformation is the idea of karma, where it could get it can get confusing. And the Vedic, it teaches us that our personal desires within themselves, if we just center our lives in what we personally desire, then that's like putting on the blinders. And then when we hear the conscious information, it's like I can hear it, sounds good, but I'm in
Hmm.
my personal desire phase. I just want to live my life that I want to live. And I can't see you. I can't see my mama. I can't see my kids. I can't see shit. I can hear everything. I can feel, taste, whatever. But I'm dead centered on my personal desires, whether it could be going to the corner store and get a black and mild. That's what I'm about. So it gets to a point of where are you going to get out of your self-seeking desires and more into a community state. And this is hard. You know what I'm saying? The first thing is like having that desire to connect. Even if you have that desire to connect and you like isolate it, I find like I would be doing these daily energies and I would be like, yo, I want to connect with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to
Yeah,
build with
straight
people.
up.
Like, you know what I'm
Like
saying? Like, I just
I don't
wanted
want to be
that.
out here by myself.
Right.
Like it's
Just
I'm
talking to
kind of
myself.
lonely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I want to
you
talk. I
hear
want to
me? Hey,
build.
like touching the mic. Hey, is this thing on?
Yeah,
Is it
fact.
on?
Like, that was the shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now it's like, all right. That's manifesting. And I just want to keep spreading that message, but in truth and knowledge. We was talking about this shit earlier. Like Jupiter is like the church or the leader. And I'll let you talk after this, but
Like believe it's like okay, so like how I was breaking down, and we'll start because I'm gonna break them all down so we can get them in keywords that we use on an everyday basis. So like as soon as you hear the word, it like resonate with you. So like Jupiter is like the belief, and everybody know what belief is because we all got it. We all was raised with it in some form of fashion. So belief is in the definition form is like having like standing on an opinion, you know, really holding on and having and making it an opinion real.
mm-hmm,
And belief is not a fixated energy. Jupiter is mutable.
mm-hmm,
Whether you're speaking on Jupiter ruling Pisces or Jupiter ruling Sagittarius, both of those signs are mutable. So like the belief energy in itself is a mutable energy. It's it should be able to expand and it should be able to contract. Sort of like water. Water can expand. Water can contract. Water can condense. It can evaporate. So can gas. Gas can explode. Gas can expand. Gas can suffocate. Gas
mm-hmm,
can be ignited. So those are the elements per se of Jupiter, but because we have our belief systems in a fixated energy, sort of like Scorpio,
mm-hmm,
you know, fixated in a belief system of church,
mm-hmm. Or
like
what is
you know,
fair, what is right, or what
what's
is
yeah,
wrong.
what's right and what's wrong, left and right, that whatever, like whatever the polarities of what it is, you know, beliefs are our belief systems are stemmed from that, and so in my mind, I like to encourage just Jupiter is an expansion energy. Belief should be expanded. Belief is used in order to imagine where you're going. So utilize the belief to imagine where you're going.
Right. And I feel like to piggyback off your point, how we utilize this in this actual conversation is that we're utilizing sideworld placements, which is not Western astrology placements, which
At all.
could be likened to belief structures like we all went to church at a particular time on Easter. So if you ask me to go to church on Easter today, I'll look at you like you got 18 different heads. I'm not going to church on Easter, bro. Like why would you even
Nah,
ask me that? I'm beyond that way of thinking. So when we reference sidereal astrology, when we reference Vedic astrology, we're in that same space. We're in that same vein of understanding. It's like Western astrology is church. It's a belief structure and it's valid. It's a lot of people in church right now. You know what I'm saying?
a
Billions
whole
of
lot of
people in
people.
church. Does that make it right? So we like outliers
It was a
or
lot of plantation owners too.
it's a lot of factories. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a
It's a
lot
lot
of
of fuck shit.
yeah.
Just
It's a
excuse
lot
my
of
language.
corporations.
It's a lot of BS in the planet. Do that make it right? Do that make it valid as we trying to understand the esoterics of our lives and the spiritual meanings of truth? And so Jupiter into Scorpio is that real transformation for me because it's not limited me to sidereal. You know what I'm saying? Like
Nah,
we
it
talking
ain't.
about other astrology paradigms and aspects that's related and how they resonate with us. So it's like that belief structure that you have as it moves into Sagittarius, you have a way better chance if you able to change the way you think about shit as it moves into Sagittarius because that was what's gonna give you a path as opposed to you figuring like you know every damn thing. How is you transforming? It's like if you a caterpillar and you become a butterfly, then now I got to learn how to fly. That's giving me purpose to learn something new. So
True shit.
have you
And I ain't never seen
transformed?
butterflies hang with caterpillars.
I ain't
Never.
never seen them crawl on the ground either and burrow into
Me neither.
cocoons. Like they fly, they have a whole different way of communicating and moving in friendships, right? Family,
Yeah,
back to
straight
what we
up.
usually just said. So
Yeah, the family has expanded or changed, and change sometimes is good. Most of the time, change is good.
1,000% time the change is always good. I think that's just my. I'm just
Yeah,
coming from the hip.
or it ain't my thought. It's the thought.
Yeah,
Change is good.
yeah.
It's gonna come. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like
what they
church
say.
hymns, a
Yeah,
change
church.
gonna
Yeah,
come. Like it's
that's what they say
coming.
in the church. Like so if a change gonna come,
Yeah, like
damn it, like you gotta
when,
come now, nigga. Like, at some point,
yeah,
it's like
when.
when, like you just gonna sit in that space of like, damn, change is gonna come. It's about to be 2020. Let's just say like the change is gonna come as Jupiter transits into this goddamn Sagittarius, and so
Yeah, Jupiter going into Sagittarius is a change coming.
yeah,
Most definitely, Jupiter going home,
yeah,
and like you got to look at it like we had a conversation about it last week. Jupiter being in Scorpio is the end of a cycle, and the culmination of information and the what can I say, the expansion of belief systems. But just because we expanded the belief, or we expanded what we know, or we expanded what we think we know, we got to set that in solid ground. We got to like really see what that is and become aware of it. Like just because we don't we walk outside and we look at the stars, we've done research, and the research says the star is here based off this. There's a system. We've been able to accomplish understanding that system throughout this whole journey. But now with Jupiter going into Mula, and Mula being in the chakra, the first in the chakra of Sagittarius,
the roots.
the roots, man. Like it's the roots. It's the beginning. Now that you put the seed in the ground, and no longer will I settle for propaganda, but I'm gonna decipher truth because I have technology and we live in the information age. Neptune and Aquarius. I'm going to utilize the Neptune and Aquarius technology to find truth and practice it, make it real. You know what I'm saying? Create a system, in 2020 that lines up with my moon sign. You know what I'm saying? Find out who I am and line up to those things. Learn why we celebrate holidays based off of the astrological alignments, because now we can go outside on full moons and we can know where the moon is on a full moon, based off of the stars based off of the system that we've been able to develop while Jupiter being in Scorpio. Like going outside and seeing with your own eyes takes your ability to understand this thing to another space. You're expanding and expounding on the new real estate that you just bought. Like, when you buy some land, you might not necessarily know all the animals on the land, and you may not know every single tree, but
It
once
gives
you
you
buy the
purpose to learn that shit. Like you want to know now because you have a new space to.
yeah,
But you wouldn't never say like, damn, I got to learn all this new shit. I'm mad that I moved here. Nobody ever says that. They
yeah, like Tyler Perry with the 300 some acres.
Yeah,
Like,
like damn.
come on, son, you know me ain't
Now
seen
I
it
gotta
all.
develop all of this space. Shit, like
Yeah, fuck.
damn.
We're gonna do
Nobody
that.
does that. Like you look at this space like now I can grow, now I can learn, and now I can really expand. And I'm thinking like, moon conjunct Jupiter, it gives us a practical understanding of how to utilize this energy in a space that we've been building on all day, and understanding the moon. Where people, I feel like astrology can get very perplexed and very complex and very diluted real quick with information, and it can get outside of the practical space. But moon conjunct Jupiter is very simple and very practical and really understanding what it means. It means your dreams are coming into reality, and not like your dreams, like not like I want to be a pop star. Like nah, nigga, your literal dreams. Cause this is a real story, no lie. I woke up this morning and my wife was in the kitchen, and she's just telling me about this dream about John Witherspoon. And like this was like the first thing in the morning, bro. And like she
What?
didn't never look at her phone. Like her phone was at the same. I promise. Like she just going in on her dream about John Witherspoon and how cosmic this
What?
is and all this. Like it's a cosmic war going on, and I had to get out of here because I had to fight for my friend Dolomite and some other shit. And I'm like, oh wow. And then lo and behold, I get on the phone,
Homie dead.
bruh. I'm like, Chauncey, like, swear, like, she's like, this is a matter of our, like, you wouldn't lie to me about this. She and I'm like, this is my wife. Like, she's not about to sit here and lie to me about no stuff like this. So it has to be some psychic shit. So I say all of that
When
to
you see
say,
that place that you in, we gotta embrace that place.
right, right. It's just a space, like, and I say like, but this is not no new stuff. Like me and you have been building, and I've been like,
Ah,
yo,
for
I've been
sure. For
decoding
sure.
my dreams. I've been writing a book about dream work and utilizing the dream work with my wife and talking to her about it. And so, like dream journaling, and like she's waking up dream journaling. I'm waking up dream journaling. Like dreams is a part of our way of life. So it's not like this is some Johnny by light or just some random shit. It's like a preparation for understanding. And even in my life, in my personal studies, I'm researching some crazy ass shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just
Yeah, boy,
like
the research is the truth right now,
research
man.
is crazy. I can't even
Like
lie
you was
about that.
leading you to the back to what you was saying. I think he was bringing like the moons to this thing. Like,
Yeah.
time maybe we examine that moon, man.
We gotta examine that moon because I'm saying the moon is when you either sleep, but then you talk about witching hours where you utilize. So, say for instance, I don't want to go to sleep. I want to take control of whatever happens at night. I want to consciously invoke my spirit into that process because you got to know that something really crazy goes on when you sleep, and that's because it's controlled by the moon. You feel me? And the phases of the moon, some people is night owls, some people is strippers, and yeah, I'm saying, but for the most of
Yeah,
us, for the most of us, we sleep at night, we wake up in the day. So we know our day shit. We know our work, family. We know what we can see. We know we gotta go to the lender's house in the morning and do this, that, and the third. But at night, do you have that shit in order? You feel me?
straight up. Like, do you though?
Do
Do
you
you
have
have it in order?
do you have your night shit in order? So that's the moon to me.
And for me, I'm up every night. Like I ain't at the strip clubs though. Like I ain't at the strip clubs, man. But I am, observing, man. Like I'm really studying. Like, man, when my kids sleep, you hear this, man? The
Hmm.
most, the best sound in the world is some sleeping kids,
Oh man, you ain't never lied. You ain't never
bro.
lied. That's why
Bruh.
bedtimes is necessary. If you got kids and you just let your kids just stay up all night, you gotta stop that.
Yeah,
Because you need
yeah,
time for
yeah.
yourself. And these
Yeah,
kids will
it's
run you. They'll drive you. They'll literally try to
that
drive you crazy.
they got planets and shit going on too, and it's
Yeah.
wild and crazy with no structure. So like,
Yeah,
yeah, man,
bedtime is
yeah,
necessary, and I know a lot of parents
yeah.
don't even enforce their bedtimes because they don't believe in that. But this moon energy is powerful because it allows your kid to get his shit together,
Yeah, straight up, straight up, straight
get
up.
his biologics in order, get his circadian rhythm in alignment. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, that's impactful, man. For like, even if you take that step, like anybody listening, like if you know your moon, right? You know
Hmm.
your sun, like grab your kid's moon and check it. the way you check yours. Like,
No
take a
doubt.
look at it. Watch how they respond. As you know, listen to the reports from school. Align bad days up with moon sign days. Like, okay, it's today the moon is conjunct Jupiter in Scorpio.
Right.
You know, my I had a teachers conference with my kid. Well, and we went to the school today,
Mm-hmm.
and my kid got a great report. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like a great report. Now, let me tell you something about my kid.
Mm-hmm.
My kid is a Scorpio sun. You know what I'm saying? So I got a good report with the Scorpio sun kid because there's Mercury, Moon, Venus,
Venus.
Jupiter in
Mm-hmm.
Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
Great report. Like, okay, so in my own home, within my own life, I looked up at the stars. They read a calculation. I looked down in my home. I read a calculation of my sun, and it aligned. Whoa, you
Mm-hmm.
feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm experiencing the astrology.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's basically what we trying to do with this astrology chat is like I know like people can get confused about life where it seems as though it's all random and it don't matter if you don't pull nothing from this. Generally what we're trying to establish is that like cooperation is where Mercury stations retrograde conjunct Venus, meaning that there's a cooperation not only in the damn word but in the planetary alignment. So you got to
Yeah.
understand like why would Mercury go retrograde on a symbol Sabian symbol that speaks to cooperation? That might be
Cooperation.
interesting. That might be interesting within itself, but it's actually conjunct another planet, meaning that these two planets can be in cooperation or they could be in not cooperation. So in studying astrology, you studying yourself in its aspected form. When we reference Jupiter, we reference belief and we reference God. But if you grown up in the church, then your understanding of God is one monolithic character. Astrology is showing you the diverse ways of God manifest. There might be a chapter in the Bible that's specifically talking about Venus, but what the authors did was take Persian astrology, look it up, right? And then
Hmm.
look up Persia and then the Bible and see how the book of Revelation mirrors Persia's book of transformation or book of the gates, whatever. But these people didn't think of the Bible themselves. They took astrology and they took every single name and every single variance and scratched it out and put God there. So when you say, damn, these people was under their spell and billions of people in church, you think that they just there because it's just this amazing God? Nah, man.
Nope.
They
That's an
there because
alignment.
they there with a cosmic alignment that they just using a word, one word to tell you many different stories and many different placements. They get up there and they talk a particular sermon. That means they taking one aspect of God and bringing it to a show to people, but that's an astrological alignment though.
Yeah.
That's a understanding that the ancients looked up at the stars. When you look up to heaven, you see stars, my nigga. You do not see God, dog. So
Coincidences are the aspects in the sky.
man,
Coincidences.
so this is why I study astrology. And I know Honcho, we haven't never had this talk, but I know like when you was little, you took spirituality serious. Like if you was in a
Hell
religion,
yeah,
if,
bruh, bruh. You could, bruh. I grew up on the in behind the pastor, bro. In the choir, bro. I grew up in the choir, bro. Like I
mm-hmm,
had to know. I had Bible studies,
mm-hmm,
choir rehearsal.
mm-hmm,
Just because my uncle the pastor, I gotta go on Wednesday. Don't really know why, but I gotta help out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm there
mm-hmm,
for Sunday school, and I'm
mm-hmm,
there for at the second service, and
mm-hmm,
bro, like it becomes a habit. Anything you do as a habit, you know, it becomes your habitat. if you're interested in it and it's affecting your beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
like religion does, then you really get delved into it, because we like to, as people, hold on to belief, like we talked about earlier. We like to
Mm-hmm.
fixate it,
Yeah.
and so
Based on
if that
opinions.
and that structures a rules. You know what I'm saying? That builds a castle with walls that say you can do everything inside of these walls, but you can't step outside the walls. You're confined to this castle.
Mm-hmm.
Stay inside of these places and don't leave.
Mm-hmm.
Don't speak this, don't say that, don't learn this,
Mm-hmm.
even though we are using this to teach you this.
Right. We using this to teach you this, but don't learn that because that's evil. That's the game.
That's some shit.
That's the
That's
game
some
right
shit.
there.
But that was the thing that was one of the things that bothered me about church the most, or just the Bible the most. It's just like the shit you telling me
Mm-hmm.
not to do
Mm-hmm.
don't line up with the shit that you doing,
The
or
world doing.
or the world doing, or like how we got to this. Like
Don't let me open up a history book.
straight up, like straight up, like it don't align.
It don't
So
add up.
that, yeah, when we start doing the math, it just don't add up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when it don't add up, you tell me, but God. All
Yo,
right, all
yeah,
right.
that's wild.
The galactic observation. What is it, data? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
galactic observation data. That's God.
That's crazy.
God.
Yeah, yeah. Like so, if you walk into the Sistine Chapel though, like your crib is a Sistine Chapel in essence, in feng shui, in theory.
Oh yeah, 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 for sure.
You
My
understand?
crib is aligned in the absolute best way I could get it, with
And the
every
best
bit of
way you can
information that I
do
could
it,
use.
cause we like until you get the Michelangelo hand strokes, you know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
can put
yeah.
the Michelangelo, cause all he did was look up in the sky and figure out how to do his paintings. So
Hmm.
bro, like you know what I'm
It's
saying?
coming. It's coming, and it's just like the practice. It's a like we talked about practice. It's a practice, like
Yeah, it's a
walking out,
practice.
paying attention,
It's a development.
listening to you, practicing my own astrology,
Mm-hmm.
participating in set.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching my kids astrology, like doing this, actually looking at the full moons. I watch every moon. Every time we ain't in a new moon, I'm looking at it. And I'm pissed off when I see clouds. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's just I'm aligning, and whatever we practice, we plant that into the subconscious, like Bruce Lipton says. Bruce Lipton is a scientist that teaches on the conscious and subconscious mind, and it's explained that the subconscious mind is moving so much faster than what we are consciously. And when you think about that, the moon moves two and a half places every 2 days. I mean, it moves a place every two and a half days,
Mm-hmm.
whereas the sun takes 30 days.
True.
Do the math on how fast they're moving.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? So like your subconscious is moving that much faster than what you're consciously aware of.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to practice doing whatever new things your consciousness is able to make yourself aware of. So when you have the belief, you have to practice that shit. You have to Saturn that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right. And so like that was what I was about to talk about next, but just to add on to your point, when you trying to refine the subconscious mind, what people tend to do is utilize like we're trying to work with our subconscious mind. It's not really gonna serve you to be in your day reading books and process. Like it's gonna help. Like don't get me wrong, but if you program yourself as you sleep or program yourself the moment you wake up or even before you start your day, like some people wake up and they get right to their day. My thing is take 30 minutes before you start your day to program your day because this is utilizing the moon in your subconscious. Like we're dealing with the subconscious. So the subconscious is 90% more powerful than the conscious. But if you try to bring your subconscious into your conscious mind, it's like it don't necessarily read. It's like trying to
You can
pour water into the ocean or something like.
if we're talking about a car,
Mhm.
right? The sun is the car,
Mhm.
and you got the moon as the engine of the car.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now the sun can only go as fast as the engine will allow it.
Mhm.
If you got a V4,
Mhm.
you riding slow.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But if you got that V12,
No matter
man,
how
like
fast or hard you push on their pedals, you only gonna go as far
you
as
only
your
gonna go
engine is.
as far as now.
But
You
what if I
also
bought what if
cannot.
I bought me some nice ass rims and painted my shit? Could it go faster?
You can. I mean, you can write a colorful book that don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you can. You can have like it's not really fit like this. The that concept there is the same concept as trying to know yourself outside yourself.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like that's the analogy that I'm just using in jest though. Like it's like y'all fixated with your physical appearances and that might be valid to like, you know what I'm saying, to pick up a girl or something. But if I need to get somewhere fast, if I fix up my car externally, it ain't gonna get me no faster. Like sometimes you gotta drop a new engine in your shit. Like
Sometimes, yes, you do. Sometimes, and honestly, in this science, you got to. Period. You gotta get a new engine. You gotta.
Honcho, he probably gonna call right back. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta drop a new engine. So I'm a Cancer moon. Water and oil. It's crazy because, like, now that ain't nobody here talking with me, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't know what I'm talking about. I figure he would call right back. So, family, what's good? What's going on? Got some people listening. Maybe got off the live ever since they got hung up. So, try to give them a few minutes to see if you're gonna hit back. Had a nice little vibe going too. Peace, Andrea. Peace, Ezekiel. Peace, Liz. Peace, Kim. Peace, Prime. Peace, Sweet Bliss. And whoever else is on the live. It's the Hood Mystic with the weekly astrology chat. We were discussing Jupiter conjunct the moon in Scorpio. Also discussing Mercury conjunct Venus in Scorpio. We were about to get into Saturn sextile Neptune and also Mars and Virgo. Here with Honcho Buildinair. You can follow him on Instagram at Honcho Buildinair. I don't know if he's gonna come back. I'm gonna give him a few more minutes and see what's good with him. Yeah, this was a good build. Yeah, I do all of my graphics, all of my art for the most part. I do outsource like a couple of things like at the beginning, but as of recently, like there we go.
Bro, out to Mercury retrograde, bro.
Your phone died or something?
Real shit.
Uh,
Look. My wife gonna tell me she like, you already knew it's finna drop. You was warned. I was like, that was like 30 minutes ago. I'm like, let the phone. Look, this is 30 minutes ago. As soon as we get in the vibe, man, want to cut. I was like, shout out to Retrograde for helping me do this.
I was like, dang, what's up with bro? Like, you got an iPhone?
Yep.
You know, them iPhones, like, they'll cut off and you be wanting that mug to charge. It'll take, like, however long it feel. Like, the longer, like, if you want it to charge fast, it'll be like, all right, let me take my time now. Like,
Yeah.
but you ever plugged it in, though? Like, and then it just pop right on? Like, what? Like,
Yep. Yep. What did you put it? As soon as you put it in
but you
that.
don't got nobody to talk to when you doing that though. Like you don't got
Yeah.
nobody to talk to. But if you don't got nobody to talk to, you charge it, it come right on. You wanna holler, it's going like all right. It'll take you about 10 minutes.
Yeah. I was like, God, dog. Then it's all the way dead.
Right, right,
And ain't finna get the turn back on action.
right. So I was just telling the family we was discussing Saturn. We
Oh,
would
we live. My bad, y'all.
nah. We good. We good. We good. It's real. It's real. I wasn't gonna get off that live because that'd have been tragic. Uh, so we discussed. I think we really encapsulated Jupiter in Scorpio, Mercury, Venus in Scorpio, and then we have like a little interplay between Neptune, Saturn, and Mars, and they're kind of like in this kind of harmonic but also difficult understanding. Now I got my thoughts towards it. You can either go with the Mars and Virgo or Saturn aspect, like however you want to go, but just kind of what you personally pulling from this energy.
With me personally, like, okay, Neptune, like I explained Jupiter with the keyword belief and belief.
Mm-hmm.
So Neptune, I look at like reality. You know, and like you can change your beliefs, but like you still living in this reality though. You know what I'm saying? So like, how do you expand that reality? And I see that as Neptune. Neptune rules Pisces. But right now in Aquarius, and shit, we getting all kind of new beliefs. I mean, not beliefs, but realities with technologies. You know what I mean? Like, we finna be flying in a minute, bro. Like, screw the car. I want a plane or like a jetpack. Let me get that jetpack I seen dude with on TikTok. You know what I'm talking about? All that
I ain't
stuff.
hip to that. I gotta go to get
Yeah,
my
like
Googles
dude
together.
got a jetpack, bro. Dude jumped on a jetpack, flew that bitch like 5 miles. Like, bro, it's like, come on, I gotta get it. I gotta get
This is a
it.
real thing.
Bro, real, bro. It's a real video. Check it out, bro. Like, this dude got a jetpack, bro, and food. It's like life in a change, man. Life in a change. You know? So it's like that's reality. Technology really expanded to like it's really far.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a mutable with Mars, like the intent is mutable. Earth, like
Mm-hmm.
can't be fixated. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like you can't be stuck like with how you use your intentions and your will, you know what I'm saying, your willpower, man. Like you gotta take your willpower and roll with the punches, but be very detailed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Really like fine detail in understanding, what technologies work for you and how can you utilize your will with the collective. You know what I mean? Because
True.
the Virgo's shit is sextile. I mean, Mars and the moon is sextile. So like we know the moon is dealing with the square to Neptune, but it's like how can you utilize your willpower and adapt? Like you may be the type of person that plows through shit with
Mm-hmm.
you know strength,
Mm-hmm.
but this war you need wit, or you may be the type of person that
You
uses
need gentleness.
you feel me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So so you have to be adaptable with which how you utilize your drive to get shit done, to get an understanding. And with Saturn and Pluto. Okay, so we talked about Jupiter going in the Sagittarius.
True.
That's gonna set the tone for real live dissecting of the truth and having a solid understanding. But we gotta understand that Pluto been here for years. Pluto has
Mm-hmm.
paved the way for the destruction of all belief systems.
True.
Pluto paved the way for the destruction of all structures that have been laid and foundation for us to believe in.
Mm-hmm.
And, and higher wisdoms, the colleges, what I'm saying, the whole college system in itself, like that shit's not even worth it unless it's really not even worth it unless you know what I mean. It's not, the degrees ain't worth shit these days. None of that shit is lining up. That's Pluto, and the fact that Saturn got to go make that meeting with Pluto. But before so, like you got to think, Saturn lays foundations. So if Pluto came and was like a massive earthquake, on Earth, on top of a hurricane, and you know what I'm saying. Now, Saturn is the planet that came through and said, okay, now that everything has been fucked up, let's bring the cranes in here and and all the tractors and shit, clean this shit out. Let's see what the land looked like. You know what I'm saying? Get all the bullshit trees that it fell, and let's clear all this shit out. Let's lay some markers to see where everything is at. Let's put some boundaries up out here so we can, allow
Mm-hmm.
people to come and tell us what this shit is about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing going on here, and that Saturn is sextile to Neptune, so you know you're able to plow through all the bullshit with the technology.
Mm-hmm. But then I guess it would be where people feel that that's a hard thing to do. You know, they feel like that's more or less difficult to try to do new things, or they're utilizing these new things to benefit themselves. So it's like whatever space you find yourself in, you can actually accomplish it, but you can't really accomplish it by yourself. That was more or less the message that I was receiving, that I
Right,
didn't really want to accept. But the more that I accept it, the more that I move into it, the more that it becomes more or less my way of life. And I'm cool with that. And that's a transformation for me. But utilizing this Mars and Virgo principle is Mars and Virgo is the third deacon of Virgo is ruled by Pluto, or has an esoteric ruling of Pluto. So it's more transformation and really uncovering that inner wealth. So my reflection in the people that I meet are myself. Now, that's a higher elevated perspective, and most people don't accept that. But they'll have trouble with trying to understand this new energy in this new world, because it comes deep from a soul space and a soul effort and a development conscious effort, and realizing that you within yourself are a tribe, and so that tribe will manifest on the external world. So if you are just this monolithic being named Honcho, then you will look at the world as this one thing. But now that you understand yourself is multiple in multiple different areas, then now you see like the benefit of a person like Shireen, or the benefit of the coaches, or just the benefit of people around you, your family, because they're not them, they're kind of aspects or reflections of you,
exactly.
especially in that space and time. So that becomes true wealth, right?
Right,
Connections and
but
networks and friendships and
and you
building.
mentioned and you mentioned tribe, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were saying earlier, like tribe never mentioned a negative notation ever,
Mm-hmm.
ever. Like You can have fucked up family, fucked up friends, but you don't got a fucked up tribe.
You never hear that.
Never hear that. The vibration on the word tribe is much higher than that. The connection energy on the word tribe has to be vibrating and at another frequency because I can't put a negative notation on it when I speak about tribe, my tribe. And like when I reference it to me,
Mm-hmm.
can't speak bad. Like, and I can't consider family tribe.
No.
That ain't tribe. That's family.
Right.
You feel me?
And family could be shit sometimes.
Yeah. So, like, really understanding that cooperation, connecting, like Venus and Mercury, like that's tribe. That's tribal communication. And
Tribal cooperation.
yeah, yeah, tribal cooperation. Sorry, but also communication as well. Like
Mm-hmm. No,
it's
I was just adding on. I wasn't saying that it wasn't community.
perfect that word, but it's just like it's us talking. You, me, tribe, not
Mm-hmm.
family. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's tribe. There's no other way I would have extended any reach
Mm-hmm.
without it being tribe. And I don't think it's any way that you would have reciprocated my energy if it wasn't tribe. And what makes it tribe is the time it's spent to get it together and then the things that happen after bringing it together.
Mm-hmm.
Process. Life, all of this shit is a cycle. So like, friends, family, instant gratification, tribe, lifelong soulmate, lifelong relation, like past life experience.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? There's certain things there that resonate from past times.
Mm-hmm.
That's tribe. And because of that, you can't put a negative notation on tribe.
Mm-hmm. But then again, you can't. But people, the negative connotation to that is the lack thereof, and that's just the reality. Because I don't feel like this is a normal conversation, and even if it is more or less like an escape. So me and you was talking about building and how like it's not like we're building because this is the thing that we need to survive. Like if our business don't succeed, we gonna starve. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, right on.
it ain't like that. It's something else. So in reference into tribe or why we bringing up tribe is because in the 29th degree Sabian symbol where Moon conjuncts Jupiter, it referenced an Indian squaw, which is an Indian mother, a chief, and her children. Now her children must have did something bad in the village, and the Indian squaw is going to the chief and on their behalf so that her children don't get killed. So that's a metaphor for the relationship of the soul and how in the narrative they don't say like you are the sons and you are the mother or you are the chief. You actually have a choice to figure out who you are. Do you want to be the kids? The people who have the hidden trauma, the hidden inner child, who don't work their inner child and have these authority problems or issues with society. They can't function, so they hate everybody because they're children. And so since they hate everybody, they act out in that way. And I can't stand grown ass people calling me about some like DUI or something like that, just doing crazy stuff because you hurt or whatever the case may be, and now you want me to bail you out of prison or some stuff like that. Or are you the chief? My thing is, how do we become the chief? Well, the chief in the Sabian symbol was speaking to how we come together as your soul. The soul represents the collective forces and coming outside of karma in the collective or in the tribe. So me and Honcho came to the realization that shit, we gonna be the chiefs in this scenario. You know what I'm saying? That's our transformation. So in the realms of transformation, like you could either go up or you can go down. I'm elevating to the level of a spiritual chief and just operating outside of coming to people like, oh, we got to come together and we got to do this and we got to do it like that. And if it don't manifest like that, then I ain't fucking with you. No, we in it because we brothers and we just going to just rock out regardless. Like, you know what I'm saying? We going to manifest stuff, but we not in it. We in it based on some soul shit, not on no karma shit. So that's really the difference. But that's why we reference in tribe and how important it is and how it's manifested in our personal lives.
Yeah, you plant two trees next to each other, the roots will grow underground together, wrap around each other, lock.
Mm-hmm.
But on the surface level, the trees will grow and separate from each other. They
Mm-hmm.
won't grow closer to each other. They'll grow
Mm-hmm.
and
I see that in real life in my backyard. The trees don't touch each other.
mm-mm. But underground, they linked.
Yeah, it's hella roots. Moolah.
Yeah, yeah. Hell yeah. Did we touch on everything, man? We missing any planetary alignments? Oh, you know what? All this still speaks to Gemini, and we started this with Gemini on the ascendant, and um, the North Node's in Gemini. So with that Sagittarius energy, like all of the new information that you have collected is in trine to Neptune in retrograde of Aquarius, bringing you new technologies, and the North Node bringing you new ways of communicating it.
Mm-hmm.
So really utilize the ways of communicating it, because Gemini is community, neighbors, close friends, short trips, So utilize the dualistic energies and actually dive into communicating. Don't just talk to us. Take this conversation to somebody else, man. Go check it. Like go ask. Go look around. Be curious. Like actually utilize the curious energy because we have the North Node there pushing us towards that.
Mm-hmm.
So sitting opposite Saturn, the South Node is sitting opposite um, Pluto. And it's sitting opposite Jupiter. All like Jupiter headed that way. So it's like really taking advantage of the communication with one another sector. Like that, go to somebody and allow them to oppose you with their belief. You know what I'm saying? Like experience, what belief is, and get some know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which is Neptune and Aquarius. Get some know.
Sure. Sure. So I want to touch on Neptune. I think we really kind of talked about everything. I think you really hit it. You really discussed Saturn and Pluto. Like Pluto's kind of been all over this kind of conversation, but that's opposed to North Node as well. So we dealing with transformation, and then Neptune in Aquarius in its third decan is gonna be here for a while because it's retrograde and it's really trying to deal with a level of truth. Now, truth is not going to be a part of the establishment and a part of your established ideas, and it can be somewhat tumultuous if you have the fundamentalist ideas to be a remnant of truth. In order to deal with this process of energy, we got to tear it all down. Now, people kind of get a little weary when you say that, but as we was referencing earlier when we was talking, it's like if I say I'm gonna destroy everything, now I'm speaking in an esoteric sense. I know that if I'm gonna forget everything, I might not forget 2 plus 2. But if I do forget 2 plus 2, then I'm not supposed to have that information in my brain. So it's a more of a purification energy. So as we get prepared for this full moon, we have to understand that a lot of our growth is determined by the things that we can let go and the things that we could change. A lot of these planetary placements are aligned with mutable placements or energies that's not fixed, and the only energies that are fixed are Uranus and the sun presently, and the sun is debilitated. The sun is in its weakest place right now. So the only thing certain is change at this present time. So if we can understand that, then we good. You said what?
I just said the sun is in fall. Like,
Yeah, the sun is in fall. The sun is in detriment.
we in the fall season. This is
True.
change.
It's like the leaves are literally falling off the tree. You know what I'm saying? So, like, do you feel like the leaves falling off the tree is a situation to cry about, or is that just the natural process of how the celestial cycles work? And you don't understand the power of purification or the spiritual processes of letting things go. And it was a question in the chat. I don't know if y'all still there, but I will do a video on my workbook. I was thinking about that. Sometimes later in the week, I'll kind of just go through the workbook and talk about it, and I'll schedule it as well. So if you want to partake, I'll make sure that you have enough time to plan for it. So, but any
Not
questions about the book, feel free to email me. That's also included in the book. Any particular questions, we could talk about it in that form too.
take this with you on the Neptune too. Prime harmonic. Neptune is the illusion. Like, go and create a scenario tomorrow that's not real. Neptune. Like, just go and make up some shit. Go tell a lie. Neptune.
And
So
what generally happens though, like it's no real coincidence. That's how you can spark your creativity or get you out of stagnant situations. Cause what if you could be saying shit off the top, like I said, my wife's dream. I thought she was just talking shit, like just another crazy ass dream she had. Lo and behold, it was the truth. But she's able to verbalize that space that's not so you're not used to. Speaking from that third eye is gonna sound weird. It might even
and I want
sound
to
like
put
a
you
lie, but it's
yeah, I
the
want to put
truth.
down the game, boy. If you got a woman at home, she a gateway to up there.
That's a fact.
She'll channel up there in a minute.
If that's
won't
the
even know what she
focus,
won't even know what she's talking about. But just to bring it down to a very simple term, women birth spirit.
mm-hmm,
They birth spirits, like literally spirits from somewhere else come and enter a woman, and then boom,
mm-hmm,
person, matter,
mm-hmm,
carbon. You know what I'm saying? Soul, spirit. Something about. But like you were saying about your wife, her being able to, like, her having a dream about John Witherspoon and then saying it to you, and the guy being like, man, that's synchronicity for yourself. That's
mm-hmm,
confirmation for your own practices with your own dreams.
mm-hmm,
uh, I hope people look at that and be like, damn, like that's what's up, because really you giving people like your own real life practice, and I think most people don't get it. You gotta
mm-hmm,
practice that shit. If you just like you brush your teeth, like if you
mm-hmm,
want clean teeth, you brush them every day. If you want to learn how to drive, you practice that shit every day, and then you learn how to drive. You
mm-hmm,
know, and or let me make a simple concept: bike.
mm-hmm,
Fall off the bike, then you finally learn how to ride the bike. And I know that a lot of people who can ride bikes can probably take one hand off of the handle.
mm-hmm,
That's an advanced skill there you didn't have before when you were
mm-hmm,
falling off the bike. And some people can probably ride the bike with no hands. Oh
mm-hmm,
shit. You wouldn't dare ride the bike with no hands when you were falling off the bike.
mm-hmm,
Feel me? So just the stages of awareness that you get through the process of practicing, building up whatever things that you have and implementing them into your subconscious. Eventually, you was able to ride the bike without question,
mm-hmm,
or eventually you drove in the car and you were not paying attention to where you were, but you made it home. Don't
mm-hmm,
remember how the fuck you got there, but you got there. Subconscious on fleek, just taking care of you. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And then your heart is still beating,
mm-hmm,
and you're not thinking or working to have it beat. But when you were in the womb, you started the practice.
mm-hmm.
So the subconscious works on autopilot. So you gotta download your softwares first
Mm-hmm.
before you can use them.
And sometimes, man, they got the auto updates, man. Them shits be coming whether you like that shit or not. And if you ready to integrate, like you can't really operate your iPhone if it ain't on 13 right now. So
You can't, bro. You can't. My thing was showing up that I didn't got iMessage. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, we didn't change communication. I ain't even got iMessage with our other iMessage people. Like,
it's
I lost
crazy.
my whole connection because I ain't update. So it's the same thing, man. Update your calendars, update your books, update your knowledge, update your information, update. Like, don't stop updating. Like, or
Mm-hmm.
you left behind. Windows 98.
Mm-hmm. So Sunday, um, like Sunday, we're going to start doing like a conference call called Set Sundays, and more information on that to come. But like the whole idea with the set is to be a part of a collective, be a part of like something that's relative to your spirit, your energy, and your technology. And I promise you, like I know for a fact that you are way more capable than you give yourself credit for, even if you are advanced, because there's other things that you can learn outside of what you already know. So I challenge everybody to learn more and not be caught up in your titles and your admiration and your fans and your subscribers and your followers, and communicate with people and deal with people and help people, because man, that's life. And anything outside of that, man, you in your own little personal bubble, and that's perfectly fine because we all trees. But at the roots of it all, in Sagittarius, we are connected, and we have a galactic Milky Way consciousness that exists before people could paint pictures, before people could say words. Like before any of this was thought of, we were one. So now that we are so in our egos, we forget that. But as these transits and all of these energies align to the Mula Nakshatra and align to the Pleiades, all of these celestial astrological energies are going to influx your being. And the idea is to now integrate them. You can integrate them by yourself, but you're going to sound crazy as shit. Have a place where you can bounce ideas off, you know. Have a
Straight up.
place where you can find consensus. Have a place where people can keep your ass in check, keep you accountable. We got a meeting, all right? We got to meet at this time, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to
Yeah.
have people that care about you enough that want to meet with you at a specific time and want to keep the process up, as opposed to like using you for their own personal benefits. So, Set Sundays is coming. Join the set. The links is in the description. Honcho, what you trying to leave us with tonight?
Uh, Nothing. I'm playing. Yeah, man. I'm gonna expound that, man. Like, I think that this, you guys should be interested in the set, man. Like, we some pretty cool individuals that, and I think that if we individually come together, we could be a very cool collective. So, um, you know, if astrology, numerology, um, Vedic, Western, Eastern, whatever you got, man, bring it, man, to the set. So, like, it can be examined and thoroughly looked at, so that we can accept it as spiritual energy technology.
If you're trying to write a book, if you're trying to develop a channel, if you feeling weird about the spiritual stuff that's happening and you want to kind of talk about it, the set is the place, because there's people who've been through what you've been through and can help you. But you don't know that if you sit and talking to yourself all day.
Yeah, straight up. And if you got kids, you got a responsibility to them. So, learn them. If they had it, they would give it to you. So if you take
Yeah.
the opportunity to give it to them. Other than that, man, like I said last week, billionaires need astrologers. So if you need me, I do I basically am a personal astrologer. You can hire me, and I will dissect your life, your business, and direct you, and navigate you through these premortal waters.
How can
And
they reach you?
at Honcho Buildinair on what is that? Instagram at Honcho Buildinair on Instagram.
Yeah, the link
Uh,
is in the description.
Honcho Buildinair at gmail.com. Once we link, I'll give you my number. We go from there. But if you really want to really dive into like knowing who you are and knowing the very next steps to make and what not to make, like if you literally had like think about it, if you was the king or the queen, you would go to your astrologers to make decisions
Before you start a war.
before you bought land,
Mm-hmm.
before you made a decision with the council. You would seek counsel.
Mm-hmm.
So um, you know, whoever's out there that has that inside of them that they know
These
they need.
weird dudes staring at the sky, coming up with messages. I'm gonna talk to them for a second.
What happened?
I said, just like these weird dudes staring at the sky. Let me deal with them before I
Yeah.
do.
So hit me. I know I'm real bland. I'm not really, selling you, and I don't expect to, because if it's really in you, you know the call.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No doubt. No doubt. Well, this is the weekly astrology chat. We meet here every Wednesday evening to talk about the weekly transits, what's important, what's really important, and what some solutions, some practical things with all of this astrology. It can get daunting, it get kind of confusing, but I feel like having multiple expressions and multiple examinations of the astrology gives people a clearer view. Now, adding to this conversation is what I expect, and the way that you add to this conversation is joining the set. That rhyme, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. About that, about about that, stuff, man.
Something about that set. Well, Honcho, thank you for joining me this evening, man. I'll check you out next week. Follow Honcho on Instagram. Message him about getting the astrology. Not even a reading, but something different, something very mature, very business savvy dude, if I say so myself, into the crypto and all of those points in between. So hit him up on Instagram. You know where to hit me up at www.hoodmystic.com. Thank you guys for watching and joining us. We'll see you guys next Wednesday evening. In peace.